Well, you bounced back, and really, after all 3 losses this year, you guys have come back to beat the same team that beat you. What does that say about your group?
We got tremendous leadership, I think, and you don't have to look too much farther for the captain to he was steady Eddie all night, and then in the third ties the game up, and we weren't diligent with our puck decisions to start that third period off, and our momentum line took care of us, and the captain fits it under the bar, and kind of everybody just followed suit from there. And he's standing right in front when Strand pipes it, and then blocks a shot. Really takes a big, I don't know if it's a slapper or heavy wrister, and takes it right, lays down in traffic for the team. So it was pretty impressive from the captain.
And he was physical earlier in the game too, right? So it's not just the offense. It seems like it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, there was a couple guys from them running around, and we don't. Without Dodes in the lineup, we got to be team tough, and we got young guys with a lot of skills. So teams try to bully us around, and it was Suts went up and gave a couple guys shots, and challenged one of their guys, and he didn't answer, but that's what the captain does.
Difference yesterday, obviously, you get 3 goals in the third period, so it's different. But what did your team do other than the goals that was different maybe in tonight's third period? Because you had the same situation entering the period, you're down by a goal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like to get into too much detail with like what our strategy was in that certain spots, but let's just say I thought we were a little more diligent with our offensive zone play, a little more direct.
Do you feel that the team executed that strategy for both nights, or was it just better execution tonight?
Much better. Last night we were just a little too cute with the puck at times, and also lack of awareness, and really we have strategy that we try to implement even in the offensive zone, that certain types of feed and fill, and just made guys aware of that this morning, that there was more options, and we could have been, I'll use that word that Todd likes to use, direct with our play in the offensive zone.
Tyler Madden has had some games where he's been visible but hasn't found the back of the net. Tonight he was using his speed. Or what did you see from him?
Yeah, his second goal was ridiculous. I mean, works so hard on the back check, slams on his brakes, and then somehow pulls away from a defenseman who I believe had a little bit of momentum to try to catch him, and then bested the goaltender. So that was pretty impressive from him, and then he sneaky physical tonight too. He got after a Stockton player right in front of their bench in the third, and he's started to learn the art of playing behind the other team, where it's not that we'd never want a guy to dump the puck. It's because you're just giving it up to somebody else. You want to place it properly, and he's really started to gravitate towards that, and he's a little bit of self-sustaining activity to take less hits, and also get to keep skating downhill and play in the fun zone instead of chasing it. So we still want to be a line rush team, but you gotta roll with the punches and take whatever the game kind of provides you a little bit too.
How much did it help in the third period that you guys stayed out of the penalty box? There's no penalties at all in that period.
Yeah, it was an interesting game, and it had a playoff feel to it. Thought there probably could have been a couple calls in the first period, but that's the team identity for them, is they're a very rough and tumble club. They're great on the forecheck. They're big and heavy and sturdy, and we had to make sure that we weren't playing at the end of our stick, and that we were ready to dig in, and guys completely relied on each other, and we were team resilient.
As the game went on, it started to feel very similar to how it was last night. Going into the third, you had that same scoreline, and at the same time, it seemed like with the way that they are on the forecheck, you had to sit back, do those stretch passes into the neutral zone. Did you guys feel like you had to change anything after last night, or was it just keep doing it until it worked?
No, we definitely changed some things, and you alluded to kind of the stretch game that for some reason despite the tempo and the in the temperature of the games, we were still in a set breakout like a lot of times both nights, and so we picked them apart in the third period yesterday on the set breakout, but tonight they were much more diligent, so we had to adjust something that we saw in between and fill our lanes a little bit better. It wasn't quite as make one or two like little bump passes. We had to earn the lines a lot more tonight in that situation.
Sean Dozy, 3 assists, comes back, doesn't miss a beat. What did you see from him?
I thought that it was a really tough game on defensemen, and they really test you on in the offensive zone, because once they do get their forecheck established, their D are big and they just hammer the puck at the net. And in the forwards, they know exactly what they're doing. They're going there. It's a pretty simple recipe, but one that puts skill players ultimately to a big challenge, because they want to gravitate towards the puck. They're hoping for a break. That's just the nature of guys that play an offensive role. And but Durs was, back to him. He every time I looked up, he had a guy picked up, and he was so cool under pressure. That was a heck of a game for him, and one, I thought, very difficult game to not see what that group brought last night, and then to step into it. It was commendable.
It seems like Stockton kind of plays a little bit of a different game than you guys have seen this year with other teams in the division, and against a team that scores a lot of goals and is really good on the power play. What were your impressions of Helge Grans the last two nights?
Oh, it just so cool under pressure. You can't say that enough. But it looks like he's just so much more comfortable in his skin. He looks an inch or two taller, if that makes any sense. He's just seems to be a lot more assertive. His gaps are tighter. He makes some ridiculous passes in the neutral zone. How they'll have a forechecker coming at him, and he'll just kind of sling it around him or through the guy's skates to his partner. Subtle things that might not look like much up top, but at ice level, it's really impressive. And you know what? He's got a lot going on. Like, there's World Junior stuff in his brain. For Team Sweden, if he's going to be able to make that team, which I would imagine would pretty much be a shoe-in. But Swedes are always good, so we'll see how that goes. But he stays the course, and great kid too.